Hey, welcome to another episode of Super FX, the show where... I'm Tyler.
I'm Matt.
And this is episode number 16.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
Was anybody? I wasn't really either.
We're running out of ideas for show openers this quickly.
And not even, is it this quick? I've only done half of the openers. You do the other ones, so this is only my 8th
Oh,
open.
that's true. Yeah.
This is what it's devolved to already.
Oh, boy.
Hey Matt, happy holidays. Chag Sameach.
It's so close, but thank you. I appreciate it.
I tried. I watched a video on how to pronounce it, and apparently that guy wasn't very good.
Honestly, it is very close.
All right.
Thank you so much, though. It's Hanukkah. And you know what that means.
Hannah Montanica?
Yeah. No, I actually... You know what? I could talk about this because it's game related. I was actually going to mention this on the podcast anyway.
You don't have just because
yesterday.
it's a video game podcast doesn't mean you have to talk about video games in the first 2 minutes.
But it's extra special because it is game related. So
right.
so now it's it's two stories in one.
Let's hear it.
So Jackie and I are going to get a Christmas tree this year. I'm Jewish, but I really do enjoy the tradition of like having a tree during the holidays because I think it's nice. And especially because this year Hallmark is doing their like 2021 keepsakes super good.
Oh shit! Is it the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, so like there's like the Super Nintendo and like the Mario with the cape, Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic and Tails and Knuckles is separate. There's like Rick and Morty, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, Donkey Kong. There's just like a whole bunch of like awesome video game ornaments that Hallmark is selling, and Jackie and I have been tossing around the idea of going and just fucking straight up buying as many of them as we can to put on our tree whenever we buy it for the holiday season.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I decided, we'll wait until it gets closer to Christmas to do that because, each ornament is like 20, sometimes $30, which, I got to spend money on games, but also on rent, and we're going to MagFest, so,
It's an expensive time.
It is. But I really do want those ornaments. But I'm glad that I decided not to buy them because when I went to my mom's for Hanukkah yesterday, she got me the Super Nintendo ornament. But
shit, I want that thing so bad.
It's so fucking cool. When you press the power button, it plays the overworld theme, and it plays the finish a stage theme, and it even ends with the fucking pew whip, which got me really happy.
Yeah, I don't think I can get it here. I was showing that to Lauren like a couple days ago, and we were looking at ordering it, but I think it was like order from the U.S. and then pay the import fees and the extra shipping and stuff. So maybe I'm just gonna ship it to you, and I'll have it for next Christmas.
Sure, that's fine with me. But that's actually not even where the story ends.
Oh,
my mom
God.
told me that she ordered it online. Because my mom's still very wary about going out during COVID. She is vaccinated, but she's also very frail and immunocompromised. And her lungs don't work so great because she's been a smoker forever. So she really doesn't like to go out shopping anymore. And I get that. So she decided to order it from, I think, Amazon. I can't remember. So she ordered it, and it was like, the description was perfect. She described it to me. She said it has lights, it has sounds, it's a 3D like ornament. It's like ceramic with plastic parts. Hallmark keepsake 2021. And I was like, well, that's the one. $20. That's what it says in the Hallmark catalog. That's what it says on this listing. Order. She she gets it, and my mom tells me this story last night. The first thing she gives to me is what she ended up getting instead from that order, which it is a plastic cutout of the image of the Super Nintendo on the box of the ornament.
Oh, she got scammed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put up a photo of it in the YouTube video, and I'm gonna show it to you as well, Tyler, after this because I think it's fucking hilarious. But she was like, "Fucking excuse me," so she did all the necessary to do, and she got her money back, and she got me the actual ornament. But it was really fucking funny that this plastic cutout is like straight up literally the picture of the ornament from the box because it has the hook on top of the fucking cartridge for Super Mario World.
Yeah, I love it when you're like buying games online and you come across those ads on eBay that are like the it's like the fridge magnet.
Fridge magnet,
like the
yeah.
box. And like, how many people fall for this? And not to say that your mom did, but it seems like she got played.
She said that I think I would have fallen for that too, because from what she told me, the listing said plays sounds and has an indicator light and Hallmark keepsake 2021. You know, that's all stuff that you're like, okay, so it's the ornament from Hallmark.
Amazing.
But no, my mom paid $20 for a piece of plastic with one of those ball chains.
I love it.
Yeah.
Did she get to keep it?
Yeah, she gave it to me, so now I have both of them.
You can hang them both.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
All right, should we talk about video games? We got a lot to talk about this week. It's been for reference. We recorded our last video, the live show. We recorded that one slightly in advance because that's when we were together, and it just was a different schedule than normal.
Yeah.
So we recorded that in advance and then released it like a week later. So it's actually been like 3 weeks since we've recorded. Like it feels like it's been forever.
It feels like it's been like a month or two, honestly.
Yeah. So we've got
November was slow.
Yeah. I mean, that said, I can't believe that we're fucking in December now. Like that is buck wild. Also, I gotta stop saying that. People were. I got comments. I got feedback from people saying like, "Wow, you say buck wild a lot."
Yeah, what
like,
your
shit,
friends?
Fuck. Yeah. No. Our loyal listeners and fans.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
We have those?
Yeah. I need several fingers to count them.
Wow. The amount of times you said buck wild, or the amount of people that we have listening?
I think I would need more than several fingers for the buck wild one. Anyway,
you can say whatever you want as many times as you want. I throw the word fuck around all over the place, and it's not necessary. It's just the way I grew up, so it's fine.
It does force us to put the explicit tag on the iTunes podcast thing. So thanks for that, Matthew. Now, people under the age of 18 will never see our podcast on there.
Is that really a thing?
I don't know.
They'll never see it,
or
they'll look at it. They'll go, "I'm old enough. Fuck whatever my mom said." Up there's another tag.
Maybe,
and I'm just
maybe it's. Do you think it's like a plus? Like you think people see the explicit tag and they're like, "Oh shit, this is my jam."
Oh, dude, they might say the F word in this. I gotta click.
All right, we gotta go. Listen up. What we've been playing. I've been playing one thing and one thing only.
Okay.
You know how I think I was talking a while ago about like, I wanted to play more games this year specifically, and I wanted to like get through games, especially things that maybe I hadn't, like more popular, more famous titles, more like must-play games that I wanted to get through. And I was like specifically maybe trying to pick games that were like a little shorter and like just trying to like play more games and finish more games, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I have embarked on the 60-hour adventure that is The Legend of Dragoon. Why? I don't know. I have a friend who has been just like telling me about this game for a long time, and I knew about it, but I never really knew about it,
Yeah.
And
that's one of the ones that you bought when you were out here, yeah.
Yeah. And so she had it growing up as a kid, and so she was like super nostalgic for it, and so I brought it to her house and we started playing it. And she was all excited, like, oh, like this is something I haven't, played in years, and like this reminds me of being a kid. And she like sent a picture to her sister, and her sister was like, oh my god, So people love this game, and the funny thing is, like, this is not the only person that I've had this interaction with. People love this game. I have told people that have been playing this game, and everyone I've talked, well, not everybody, but a lot of people I've talked to, are like, oh shit, that game. Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, I didn't know, when I was a kid, I didn't know anybody who had this game. I didn't know anybody who played it.
I still don't know anybody who grew up with it, but apparently it's, like, universally loved and praised.
Apparently. Dude, this game is not good. It's not good. It's bad.
I really wasn't expecting that. Oh, my God. You don't like it?
No, it's bad, but I'm hooked. I can't stop playing it.
That's how I feel about like Shenmue and Fester's Quest.
Yeah, I think it is a lot. Like, I mean, I haven't played Shenmue, but that's kind of the vibe I get. I'm like, I think 13 hours in now. I put 13 hours in. I'm still on disc 1. There's 4 discs. Shit. Yeah, 4 discs. There's 4 discs, and I'm still on disc 1. I'm 13 hours in. Uh-huh. It's really slow. And here's the thing: is that it's not. it's very slow paced, but it doesn't really feel slow. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you get into a battle and the animations take a while and they're like all over the top and there's like a lot of text and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's very much something that I've just kind of like had on in the background while I'm like watching a show or something, because it's kind of mindless that way. It's like, it's a PS1 RPG. It's like fucking like press buttons and wait for the animation to play, and then the enemy does a thing and you have to watch the animation and take the
Yeah.
and it was very much like, yo, check out these graphics. These graphics are like something you've never seen before in your life. And like for the time, like sure, like they're sick, right? Now they're pretty underwhelming, but they like really
by
play
today's standards, they look like
and they
trash.
play into it. Like they know that it was sick, and so like every attack has like a big old thing that happens. It is kind of cool. So all the attacks are like QTEs.
Yeah.
So you attack and then you have to like hit X at certain times. Or sometimes you gotta hit circle. It changes up, and it's like a certain rhythm to it depending on which they call them additions, which addition you've added onto your character. So like it's not so mindless that you can just like hit X X X X X and then you're done the battle. Like you still have to pay attention. But dude, it's the overworld stuff is janky as hell. The battles are completely underwhelming. The story, I mean, the translation is just awful. It is so bad.
I wonder why so many people enjoy this game then, or maybe it's just that you are not enjoying it.
Well, I have no nostalgia for it, right? And so, like, I'm
Right.
able to pick it apart for.
Oh,
all
do you
of
kind of
its-
see? Think like that might be why it's like everybody looks back on it fondly because it blew their mind when they were a kid, but now
Yeah.
it's still held up.
I don't know. So here's another example. I really love Ocarina of Time, and I think most people do.
Yeah.
I
Honestly, I think this is like the perfect example.
well, yeah, it is, because I don't have a ton of nostalgia for Ocarina of Time because I didn't have it as a kid. And my neighbor had it. I remember playing it a little bit with him, but I never had it, and I never really grew up with it. So because of that, I don't really have a lot of nostalgia for it. But playing it now, I've played it like several times, like in kind of my teenage years and into adulthood. I've played it several times, and I think it's a good game. I legitimately think it's well designed, and it has like very few faults, right?
Right.
But I have no nostalgia for it, right? And so this game, Legend of Dragoon, I don't have any nostalgia for it, and I can totally see its faults, and it's not good. It has not aged well. I don't know. But the weird thing is I just can't fucking stop playing it. I'm normally somebody who, if I'm not enjoying a game, especially if it's a 60-hour game, I'm not even a quarter of the way through how long this thing is going to take me, right? Like, it's a 60-hour game, and I know that I'm, like, going to take longer than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The characters all suck. Every single one of them sucks. The main character's name is Dart, and like the love interest's name is Shayna. And I don't know. It's just like Cloud Strife is a cool name for a 4-disc RPG main character, but Dart is not.
But not Dart.
And Shayna, I don't know. It's just like, like I'm not attached to the characters whatsoever. I could not give a shit if one of them dies like on the next playtime. But
I do know you don't have to finish the game, right?
I love playing it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. It's so weird. I've never felt like this before. I think it's a terrible game. I honestly do.
Right.
I don't think it's a good game, but I'm really enjoying playing it. It's just so like it's mindless, but like it's cheesy enough that it's keeping me engaged. Like all the attacks and the enemies, dude. One of the enemies, one of the first enemies you battle. So it's like the Pidgey of the game, right? Like one of the first like cheap whatever easy.
You went for Pidgey instead of like Goomba or like fucking.
Well, it's an RPG, right? And they give you like the easy,
okay, sure.
right? The first one you fight, the name of the thing is Annoying Cock.
You're fucking kidding me.
I'm not kidding. It's a rooster or chicken or whatever, and the name of this enemy is Annoying Cock. So that's crazy, right? You're like, wow, that's hilarious. Like, why would they translate that? But whatever. And then you move on. The next one you run into is a tree, and his name's Trent. And sometimes you have battles where they're like together. So you have annoying Cock the Rooster and the tree named Trent.
That's awesome.
This is the type of game dude, you gotta play this shit. It's like,
I mean, I don't own it, but when I do,
it is a roller coaster. Like every time that something new happens, like it's like a curveball. I've just finally the whole thing is that you like can turn into dragoons, which are like the guys who fight they harness the power of the dragons or whatever, and you can fight the dragons because you're now dragoons. I don't know. Yeah. And there's like this giant animation. It's like an anime where like it takes its sweet ass time when you use your dragoon power. I'm turned off of using the Dragoon power because it takes so fucking long for the animation to play. Yeah. And you can't stop it. It just keeps going and going and going. And you're like, fucking why? I could have just done like 3 basic attacks.
You can't skip it after the first time.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's like I don't know. It's a product of its time. Right. But I'm still playing it. I think I'm going to play the whole thing. I mean, it's going to take something at this point to, like, take me out of it, you know? And I don't know. I think why I'm enjoying it so much is because I'm able to, like, watch TV or, like, watch a movie or something while you're playing. And it, like, doesn't take any focus at all. And it's extremely linear. It's not open world. So it's, like, you go... There's, like... There's an overworld of sorts, but you kind of go from stage to stage.
But you're kind of like funneled into where you need to go.
Yeah, not even like you're on a path. Like it's like I don't know. Like it's like think about like
Mario RPG.
Yeah, I haven't played that in a long time. But yeah, like you're on a path and you like pick the world or the next stage, and like sometimes you'll have to go to the one that was previous, and sometimes you'll move on, go forward. You know, right? And so it's like you'll enter the stage and there like. If you get to the end of it, then you'll come out the other side, you know, and then you follow the path along into the next stage.
Yeah, that's basically kind of like Mario RPG. Like because there's like a world map a la Super Mario World in that game.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
You just like pick and choose where to go, but you can't continue until you've like completed that area.
Yeah. So I think that is also part of why I'm like sticking with it is because it's not overwhelming at all in that way. Like it's so linear where it's like, hey, then somebody's like, the one part I just finished was like, oh, the girl's sick, so you got to go get her this like one plant, and it's like in this place, and you leave the town, and like lo and behold, the place they're talking about is the next place on the map, and so you go there, and then you get the thing, and then you go back, you know. So it's like extremely linear, and there's like, as far as I can tell, there are no side quests. So I don't know.
I can't wait for you to finish all 60 hours of this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about this.
Fucking
for the next,
run outside during a fucking rainstorm on your knees. Like, why did I do this?
Matthew, there are no rainstorms in December in Canada.
Oh, that's right. They're all basically.
Who am I kidding? It's gonna be like May by the time I finish this shit. But
it's also gonna be May by the time it stops snowing for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen snow in June. I've seen snow in July.
Holy shit! Oh, yeah. That's completely unheard of here.
Anyway,
sometimes we'll get it. Well, fuck snow. There's video games to talk about.
Yeah. So that's all I've been playing. I'm having fun with it. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel about games like Shenmue and Fester's Quest, where there's kind of like this overarching feeling like, oh, that's right, this game isn't like supposed to be good, right? But it's still really enjoyable to play.
Well, it's weird because, like you said, like people seem to love it. Like all like online. Yeah,
everyone who talks to me about it, they're like, oh, that game's so good.
Yeah, and I don't see it. I don't know why people think that.
Well, that's okay.
I don't know. Like typically, if I don't like a game that's like well loved, like I can see why people love it. You know?
Yeah.
The only reason I could see people loving this game is because it's like so cheesy and like not good, and so it's like it's so bad you love it kind of thing, or it's like nostalgia and like when you were a kid in like 1999 or whatever, like it was so sick then. Like sure, I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't age well. I don't know. Like it's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's fun, but it's bad.
It's okay. You don't have to explain it. Just try to enjoy yourself as much as you can.
I am.
You'll give us updates like when I updated us about Pokemon for 90 years.
Anyway, I love it so much I'm going to put 50 more hours of my life into it. Anyway, you go. What are you playing?
Over the last 3 weeks, I'm still kind of blasting through short games. Like since I finished Pokemon, I can't stop just like playing shorter games, and I'll play like a longer one here and there. So over the last 3 weeks, I beat 2 games, and now I'm playing through one that's a little longer. I sank my teeth into Aero the Acrobat on Genesis, which, it's a mascot platformer. When I was first starting to play it, I was like, oh, this game isn't good. I can't get a good handle on the controls, and I don't really like the way that the enemies are designed. Some things are confusing here and there. But once I got into it more, and I got used to it, and I had played for like a couple of hours and got a couple of game overs, because the game is actually kind of difficult, I actually started to have like a newfound appreciation for it. And it's not that it's a good game per se, but it's not really a bad one either. It came out at a time when, everyone was trying to compete with Mario and Sonic, and, I actually don't think it's that bad. It's pretty good.
Right
it's
on.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds like it sounds like a more positive experience than mine.
Yeah. The only problem that I really have with the game is that, it came out in, I believe, 93 for both Super Nintendo and Genesis. Mm-hmm. And, games that were shorter than Aero the Acrobat in the 80s had fucking passwords and saves, but Aero does not have passwords or saves.
Oh, it's like a one and done kind of deal?
Yes, it's a one and done deal. If you're good at the game, you could probably beat it in like 2 hours, but, I was playing it for the first time, so it took me like 9 hours to finish.
Yeah.
So.
I love that at that era of like everybody's trying to make a mascot.
Yeah.
Like Mario happened and everyone's like, oh shit, like we need a character.
We need Mario, yeah.
And so like you got all these like weird type of like random ass like fucking Aero the Acrobat.
Yeah. Hey, I guess it must not have sold so poorly, similarly to Bubsy. Nobody remembers Bubsy fondly, but he must have sold pretty well because they made like 8 more. There's an Aero the Acrobat too. So,
they really
must not have done so badly. Yeah. But I recommend it if you're like into that sort of thing. It's a quirky little platformer. It's got like circus and carnival vibes. The music is fantastic. More people need to talk about the music for Aero the Acrobat. Even on Genesis, it's tinny, of course, because of the sound font, but it's bumping. It's funky in places, and it's very playful in others. I really like the soundtrack.
All right,
but yeah. Other than that, I revisited a childhood like favorite of mine. Well, it's still kind of an adulthood favorite of mine. When I was a kid, I used to rent the Lost Vikings for Super Nintendo all the time. I love that game. Little known fact, you probably know this, but for anyone else listening, that game was developed by Silicon and Synapse, which would later rebrand as Blizzard Entertainment. So, little story before the main story for that company who's not doing so hot right now. But they used to.
Was Bobby Kotick involved in that game?
Who knows? But I used to rent it on Super Nintendo as a kid. I didn't own a Genesis, although it also came out on Genesis. It came out on MS-DOS as well, and I think it came out on Amiga. But, when we were kids, we didn't care. We had consoles. I never beat the Super Nintendo version growing up renting it as a kid. But eventually I got a Genesis, and a friend of mine gave me his copy of Lost Vikings for that, so I beat that version. And they're basically the same game, but the Super Nintendo version's music is better, the graphics look a little cleaner, and the controls are better, because there's more buttons on the Super Nintendo controller. So I finally got around to actually fully beating the Super Nintendo version of Lost Vikings.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a puzzle platformer. You play as one of 3 different Vikings who each have 3 unique attributes about them. And apparently the game is pretty well remembered. It's kind of uncommon to come across now, but Blizzard keeps making references to it in all of their video games. There's NPCs in a dungeon in World of Warcraft who have the names of the main characters. Eric, Baliog, and Olaf. The game's very witty and quirky. In between stages, the characters will banter with each other, and they're very funny. Yeah. And also, it's a lesser-known Super Nintendo and also Genesis game that allows 3-player multiplayer. Each person can take control of one of the Vikings, and you can actually work together, having your own unique set of skills to reach the end of all the stages. It's pretty cool. You can play with 2 players too, but then one person has to juggle 2 characters while the other person gets their own. So I'd rather play it with 3. And I was talking to Jackie about it, and she was like, let me just ask you, who's your preferred 2 friends to play this with? And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, probably Tyler and Max. And she was like, I knew it! Yeah.
Well,
So
one
it'd be
day
fun to
we'll
play
give that
with
a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play it, but I never. I don't have it. I've never gotten around to it.
It's very inexpensive for both consoles, so I recommend picking it up. There was also a sequel on Super Nintendo, Lost Vikings 2, and they even remade the first game for Game Boy Advance, which I think is also pretty inexpensive to pick up.
Sweet.
But yeah, the main thing I'm working on right now is I never beat Fire Emblem 7 for Game Boy Advance, just the one that was released in North America just as Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, yeah.
I used to emulate it for a long period of time back in the day, but I never beat it, and I never owned it up until just recently. I bought a copy with Jackie from Flashback, where you and I went when you were here. Mm-hmm. And, I popped it in, and I'm about halfway through the game, and I can't get through Chapter 16X. It's the side story to Chapter 16. I decided to do all the side quests just to help level my units.
Okay.
And, I've restarted that chapter 9 fucking times. I cannot get through it.
Like you're just dying?
Yeah, I don't want to lose any units because I want to build them up, and I want to get through the game. And I know that you can still play the game if you lose units, but this is classic Fire Emblem. There's
it's all permadeath, right?
It's 100% permadeath. You lose anybody, they're gone forever. And I keep I'm using my best team. And I'm still getting my ass handed to me, and I'm usually very careful and calculated about playing through Fire Emblem games steadily and as well as possible, because if you don't do well in the early game, the late game fucks you.
Yeah.
And here I am in the middle of the game in a side quest chapter, and I can't finish it because there's all these strong enemies in the middle of the map who keep rushing my team and deleting me.
Matt, I can't think of a time that I've heard you talk about a video game in that way, where you're like, I'm so it's so hard and frustrating. Whenever I think about somebody who's really
I'm not
good
on
at video games, that's you.
I'm just
I always
frustrated.
in my mind, you're just
Thank you.
A real pro gamer.
Thank you very much. That's why I'm here on the podcast. I'm the pro gamer out of the two of us.
Yeah, I'm the amateur gamer.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm having a good time, and I never really considered, I'm good at video games, I'm bad at video games. I just want to play, and it just so happens, I can get through most games without a hassle. I have my fair share of troubles, but and I've played other Fire Emblems before, quite a handful of them. Even this one back in the day, emulated.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, here I am sitting on my ass, my blood is boiling because I'm like, I should be able to get through this chapter.
I love it.
And I think we had a discussion in a previous episode where if I feel like I've invested an hour, maybe an hour and a half in the same part of a game and I'm getting frustrated and I can't pass, I'll just look up a strategy in a walkthrough or something. And I think I'm going to have to do that for this chapter.
Dang.
And you know what? I don't even feel bad because it's a side chapter. I didn't have to take it, but I decided to, and it fucked me. So so I think I'm just going to have to look up a strategy or two and okay, I'll try that. Let's see where it goes.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. But that's what I've been dealing with. I'm still having fun with it. It's Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem. But I want to kill myself.
Well, please don't. Please just kill your enemies in Fire Emblem.
Yes.
And also, I mean, if you really want to think about murder, you could think about our best friend. Wait, shit! I was gonna go into Tommy, but I realized that we probably shouldn't talk about Tommy.
Well, I mean, I can touch upon Tommy super brief.
Super brief. What did Tommy do this week as we go into the news with a Z, or it legally doesn't count?
Yeah. Guys, Tommy has announced, you guys remember Tommy, right? Our friend, Tammy Tallarico?
Sadly.
He has told us that he is going to have the Intellivision Amico in stores in time for Christmas. Round of applause, Tommy Tallarico. He has stated on the record that the Intellivision is finally being manufactured en masse for public consumption. It is currently November 30th. Christmas is in exactly 25 days, and we still don't have a release date for the Intellivision Amico.
Not to mention like all like the the shipping delays and shit that's been going on for across the entire market. I don't know, like, because this thing, this thing is not built in America, so he has to get
It's not built at all. I really don't fucking think he's making them.
All right, well, join us next time when we talk about the inevitable Tommy tweet where he talks about the apology of sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, although I will say, the best thing to come out of the Intellivision Amico so far has been all the memes. My friend Chris, who, Tyler, you didn't get to meet this visit, but you will eventually. My buddy Chris is gassed all over the place because of the memes that are coming out of this thing. Like, he was looking forward to it just like I was at first, and then all this bullshit with Tommy. The two of us joined the Intellivision Amico, like, fan club Facebook group, which is officially spearheaded by Tommy Tallarico.
Oh, really?
So he interacts with everybody in the Facebook group. And people are posting memes. Tommy himself is posting memes that are poking fun at the Amico. Like, we've come full circle. This is a Sonic the Hedgehog situation.
Do you think it's an NFT? Do you think the Amico is just an NFT?
The concept of the Amico is the NFT.
Speaking of absolutely ridiculous fan groups that spark memes, Steve Aoki had the Sonic concert today. And this was announced. Remember when Sega had like their Sonic Day? I don't know, a few months ago.
Yes, I actually did watch that whole thing.
Yeah,
that one a few months ago.
They announced at the time that they were going to be doing a Steve Aoki concert.
Yeah.
So that happened today on a Tuesday in the middle of the day. They did the live Steve. Matt, did you watch this?
So it showed up in my subscriptions, but I was, not paying attention to it. I was playing Fire Emblem, getting frustrated, so I didn't watch it yet.
Okay, so I want you to go and just pull up the video like from the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel. I want you to just like briefly
now?
Open it up and just like kind of click through. You don't really need to have audio. Just kind of click through, maybe scrub through a little bit while I talk about this thing.
It's in my subs, so I'm just going to scroll down to it. Steve Aoki cross Sonic concert.
Yeah, it's like 56 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Y'all.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to take one ear off my headphone. I can still hear you, but
okay, brilliant. Okay, so y'all, Steve Aoki, the Sega, paid Steve Aoki to go onto their green screen set, which is just it's a green stage. That's it. To play a DJ set. I guess.
Oh my god, this looks sad.
Matthew, I don't think you fully. I mean, you're looking at it. Okay, so
I'm at 6 minutes and 17 seconds, and there's just he's just fucking sitting there in the middle of what is essentially a green screen, yeah. And he's just like, "Yep, I'm here. I'm dancing a little bit to the music, touching things."
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, and it's not even like okay. So Pokemon did this.
It's not good green screen.
Pokemon
either.
did this with what's his name?
I'm sorry. I'm like listening to you, but at the same time, I'm paying attention to the video.
Post Malone. It was Post Malone. Nintendo did this with Post Malone with Pokemon, and had like a little live concert. But at least they had like when Pokemon did it, they had like CG Post Malone, and it was like on a stage, and there was like a crowd, like a virtual crowd there, and he did this concert, right? And it was
also, by the way, not to interrupt you or anything, but I just noticed now. I thought it was my connection, but I'm in 1080p, and it still looks pixelated as fuck.
Well, it's you don't see if you watch this online, you don't know, but it's a VR experience. So if you watch it on your phone and you put it in, one of those like Google.
Oh my god! Yeah, I can scroll the video with the cursor.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why would you want to do that?
It's well, you would do it on if you were watching in VR. So not only
There's not even
did
a
this thing
fucking
happen-
crowd here.
Matt, I know. That's what I'm saying, Matthew.
All right, we're done. Go ahead.
I cannot believe that this thing. So the absolute best part of this is that every so often, in certain shots, you will see Sonic and friends will show up.
Yeah,
And-
they'll like show up in like they come to like the front. Sometimes they'll be in the background. I noticed.
Yeah, and they'll start like just busting dance moves in front of
Yeah!
Steve Aoki. And there's nobody else involved, and it's just like Sonic like superimposed, like a 3D model of Sonic dancing superimposed onto this like weird ass green screen set, and he's just like fist pumping. And then the song will end and he'll just disappear. And the worst part is that it's not even Sonic music. He's just playing Steve Aoki
He's just
music.
playing regular Steve Aoki
Yeah,
music. Yeah.
he plays one Sonic song on this whole thing. And it's fucking Stardust Speedway. That's the one Sonic song he does. Like, out of every Sonic, like Green Hill Zone, no, fuck that. I'm gonna play Stardust Speedway from fucking Sonic CD.
Still a good song, but you know.
Yeah, but you'd think if you were watching this Sonic the Hedgehog musical show
I
concert,
love how like up in arms you are about it, but you're so right.
dude, I cannot believe that this happened. And
I absolutely can believe this happened. I do not understand. They must be doing it on fucking purpose at this point.
No,
right?
Sega is so absolutely so misguided in what the fuck they're doing with the Sonic brand, with any of their brands. They're so fucking misguided that they hired this fucking NFT peddler, Steve Aoki, a washed-up EDM artist, to do a fucking green screen performance with random CG Sonic characters superimposed onto this set, and he doesn't even do any Sonic music.
Dude,
They're
he's
so
like barely
fucking
into
misguided.
it.
Dude, this thing...
Just the fucking like 5 or 6 times that I clicked around on the video, he's like, his eyes are like half closed. He like, you can't even tell what his expression is because his mustache comes down a little bit below his mouth, and it's just like fucking like, I'm here. Yeah, he phoned it in. That's the best way of putting
There's
it. There's
54 minutes of this. There's 54 minutes of this. And dude, there's 29,000 views. This thing happened today. 29,000 views. That's it.
Uh-huh.
That's it. I mean, like,
We gotta play a drinking game at Mag. If we put it on, everyone sits around and watches it, and if you get up, you have to drink an entire fucking jug of vodka.
we would go to the hospital if we did that. Okay, so if you're listening to this, I implore you, go and just watch a few minutes of this Steve Aoki. Suffer through it.
Click around though, because the set changes are, they're there, and the Sonic characters, they look like they're there.
It's a pitiful reminder of the mishandling of the Sonic brand that Sega continues. It's a tradition at this point that Sega mishandles.
That's why there's
Sonic
this
brand.
like conspiracy in like gamerdom that they must be doing it on purpose, because at this point, like when they first started, they obviously weren't doing it on purpose. They really did think that like, oh, Sonic 06 was going to be great. And some people don't like Sonic Adventure. I think it's fine, but I can definitely see how flawed it is. And all of the other missteps and like misguided things that they had like put into place, trying to build Sonic back up from the fucking 2D era when all they had to do the whole fucking time was just make Sonic Mania.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I was looking this up. I Googled it earlier to try to find the video, and the first thing that came up on Google was the headline, Gamers Furious at Sega over Steve Aoki's virtual Sonic concert. And this article is just like a collection of tweets of Sonic fans being grumpy about it. And
the thing is, like, they didn't even have to do it. They didn't even have to do this concert.
One of the tweets says, "This Steve Aoki Sonic concert was one of the most disappointing things I've ever had to experience as a Sonic fan." And I mean, that is saying something. If this is if this is one of the most disappointing things you've experienced as a Sonic fan, like has to be real bad.
Oh yeah.
Damn. That happened today.
Yeah.
We have
they
have
have to be fucking. Go ahead.
we've got fucking 3 weeks of gamer news to talk about, and this happened today. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff's been going on, a lot of bad stuff lately. Excuse me. The GTA remaster came out.
Oh yeah,
It's bad.
it's not good.
No, did you play it?
No, I didn't. When I saw the ads for it that came out, I was like, okay, they're doing the retro look on purpose. They're making it look like it used to look, but just like they basically took what was essentially polygons, and instead of remaking them from the ground up, they just kind of like shoe shined them a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, dude. You know how we always talk about, like, on the show we get mad about video games?
Yes.
With this episode, just fucking...
This episode more than all.
Embodies that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Rockstar knows that this is a beloved franchise. This franchise is one of, like, the top-selling video game series of all time.
They should have just gotten a fucking GTA Steve Aoki concert.
I don't want to take up more of our time just bashing
Go ahead.
shitty video game things, but basically, I don't understand how Rockstar can take something that's just like so beloved by a lot of people, like,
and ruin it like that.
Like San Andreas, Vice City, GTA 3, like, a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for that, right?
Yeah.
These are very high-selling, very well-loved games, and then they're just like, hey, we're just going to cash grab this, like, shitty port of it. Here it is. Like, I'm sure it was rushed. I'm sure whoever made this, whoever worked on this, wanted it to be better than it was, and I'm sure, release timelines, they wanted it to be out for Christmas, it gets in the way, and it just got thrown out.
Yeah, it's probably also like a holdover because we're still waiting on GTA 6, which has not even been announced, let alone theorized.
Yeah, I mean, like, we bash on Nintendo from time to time, but, like, look at Nintendo. They released Ocarina of Time, they released Majora's Mask, they re-released a lot of Zelda stuff, and they're able to, like, do it pretty darn well, right? Like, Ocarina of Time 3D is, like, a fucking good re-release. It's not a remaster. Like, it's not like they, like, rebuilt it from the ground up. But, like,
it's got a fresh coat of paint, and it's basically the same game.
That's the way to do it, right? That's all they had to do with this fucking re-release, this port. And they just dropped the ball. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Hey, Halo looks good. That's something.
Yeah.
Here's a beloved franchise that they're coming out with a new one, and it looks good. The multiplayer beta is out. I haven't played it yet. I really want to, but I've been playing Legend of Dragoon. It looks good, and the trailer for the campaign dropped today, and it looks good. There's something. There's a blast from the past franchise, well loved, that they're doing stuff with, and it looks good, and I hope it actually is.
Yeah, it was interesting to me. I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my buddies and my friend Chris, different Chris from Tommy Tallarico Chris. My buddy Chris was like, so everyone online seems to think that, because the Halo 20th anniversary is coming up, they're going to release Infinite now. But they've already said that Infinite's not coming out until, whatever. So, like, it's stupid. I can't believe everyone thinks that this is going to happen. And then on the 20th anniversary of Halo, they just did. They just dropped the multiplayer. And Chris was like, well, shit. I mean, it's not the whole game, but, like, how cool is that they were like, surprise.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it. Like, it's not like they... I mean, obviously there's going to be hype for it, and people knew that the game is coming out, right? There's going to be some hype. But, like, it's one thing to, like, have this, like, hype train build up forever, and it's another thing for them just to be like, hey, surprise, it's out. Play it now. Go. I love that. I like, and that way, like, if it's not so great, like, I think it's like there's some damage control there, right? And in this case, it was great, but, like, I don't know. I think that's a smart marketing tactic. I think it builds
as long as you do it correctly. Halo Infinite had already been announced, and so hype got built, and then they dropped the surprise multiplayer, right? Because, like, there's definitely a way to do it poorly. Like, when Sega first announced the Saturn, it was during the very first announcement of the Saturn that they were like, guess what? It's in stores. No time for hype. $500 price point.
Yeah.
Totally the wrong move.
And that was the last we heard about the Sega Saturn.
That's true. But this was really good. Infinite was already announced. We had people speculating about whether or not there was going to be something dropping on the 20th anniversary, and then boom, they just do. There were no leaks either. It was just speculation. They were like, they got to do something for the 20th anniversary, and they did.
Do you think one day you're just going to walk into GameStop and there's going to be a Television Amico on the shelf? It's just like dropped out of nowhere.
GameStop, I don't know. If it ever comes out, maybe.
We got some time. Do you want to talk about the WATA
this is brief. A friend of the show, Ben, someone that Tyler and I were in the Lemon Demon forum with, the place where we met, he messaged me a Twitter link. A tweet, I guess. He messaged me a tweet. Hi, it's me, geriatric Uncle Matt. How's it going? He messaged me a tweet from Chris Kohler, who, Tyler, you know, but some of you might not. Who he used to write for Wired, and maybe he still does. I don't know. I definitely know that he did back in the day. But critically acclaimed games journalist, really knows his shit, like doesn't fuck around, is into video games, all capital letters. He tweeted recently, and he cited his sources. WATA, and we've talked about WATA, they recently released their population report for their NES cartridge grades, and it's confirmed that around a little less than a third of all currently known extant copies of Nintendo World Championships have been slabbed and graded by WATA, which means that they're even more rare than they already were naturally in regular cartridge form.
So not only are they driving up this like false scarcity value thing when they're grading like shit like Mario Brothers, but now they are actually creating scarcity.
Real scarcity.
Because the actual number of playable cartridges, specifically of the Grey Cart, has dwindled by a third. Mm-hmm. Because now the half of these or a third of these games are forever stuck in
it's not even about playability.
Cases.
It's not even about playability. It's just accessibility in general, right? Like if I wanted to buy a copy of Nintendo World Championships, I already expect that I'm probably going to have to shell out, I don't know, about $20,000 roughly, maybe more, maybe less, depending. Yeah. But I had a 1 in like 80 something chance to do that. And now my chances are like 1 in like 55, something like that. It sucks because those other like 20 something copies that have been slabbed and graded by WATA, now they're going to be in the millions because the game itself is already worth $20,000. And hopefully that doesn't affect the value of the loose copies, but it's certainly going to affect the accessibility. Now I just straight up have a lot less of a chance to ever own an NWC. Did I ever think I would? I mean, I'm hopeful. I don't know. But anyone who ever would be is now 1/3 less likely. And it was already really unlikely. So that 1/3 is a huge number.
Fuck WATA.
Listen, there are other ways to grade video games. There's VGA. They don't fucking create, like, shortages and, like, fake scarcity about fucking common games. They've been doing it for fucking over 10 years. I think 15 years at this point. You do not have to go to WATA to grade your games, and if you defend WATA, you know what? Just shame on you, really. I don't even have any curse words. Just shame on you.
Yeah.
How can you think that this is okay?
They don't. I mean, I don't think they think it's okay. They just,
they just don't care.
They're rolling in money, right? So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about what video games that we picked.
Oh my God, do we get to be happy about video games in this episode?
Yeah, maybe. I had.
Should I just straight up call this episode like mad about video games?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. I had some pickups the past couple weeks. I actually had more pickups than I think I've ever had recently. I don't know why.
You had more pickups than I did. And, actually, that's saying something.
So listen up. I found a new spot.
Ooh.
I found myself on the other, like the opposite end of the city. the side of the city that I don't normally go to, and I stopped in at a Goodwill and a Value Village. Value Village is like Savers. You call them Savers. We call them Value Village. Do you have Value Village?
No, when you go to Savers, sometimes like the little pamphlets will also say Value Village on them, though. So like,
same company.
It's just
company.
different names
It's just
depending what country.
So I went to both these places, and holy shit, they actually had like some okay stuff, which never happens. Like, it's so rare. So I picked up between these two places, I picked up the following: Crimson Skies for Xbox, OG Xbox, classic. I think launch title. Yeah, MotorStorm, PS3, Resistance
PS3.
2, PS3, Cameo, Elements of Power on 360.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which I didn't have. And then a couple of the commons: Tomb Raider, Underworld, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Infamous 2, Sega GT 2002, the combo disc with Jet Set Radio. No, with Jet Set Radio
with
Future.
Jet Set. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Clone Wars Tetris, I think.
That's the other one. And I think I spent like, I don't know, for all of that, like maybe $30-$40 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like not bad for a bunch of like granted, like somewhat common, but like a lot of like good stuff.
Just decent
like,
games.
Decent games. I also got I would say in the case, you know, like the little fucking the glass case at the
like the jewelry counter, we have that too.
Yeah, Value Village officially calls it the showcase, and I only know that. I only know that because there's never anyone staffed on it. You have to like go find an employee and be like, hey, can I look in the glass? And
it's the same here, but for whatever reason they call
radio
it the jewelry counter.
Oh yeah, they'll radio for someone over the intercom or the PA thing, and they're like, can we get an available associate to the showcase? And so that's how I know they call it the showcase. So, so I went to one Value Village. They had Scooby-Doo Unmasked on GBA, which is actually like kind of like surprisingly rare.
Yeah.
So that I picked that up for $1.99. Which is pretty good. Yeah. They had a couple of other common stuff there that I didn't take. They also had a bunch of Atari 2600 games, which I never see.
I don't see those often in Savers either.
They had Donkey Kong, and a couple other things.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but that was all priced at like $25 a pop.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't pick it up. I went to a different Value Village and I got Wall Street Kid on NES.
I actually like that game.
I had never seen one in person. That was $15, so that was a little bit more expensive, but I did pick it up because like that is a little bit more rare. I haven't seen that around.
Yeah, that's about how much it costs in CAD. Like, just from what I know about its American price, that's about right.
They also had a copy of Bill and Ted on NES.
But
it was $45.
Oh God.
Yeah, so they do not know what they're doing. It was all over the place. But the point is that they just had a ton of stuff that I like never see, and at the Value Villages and Goodwills and stuff that I frequent on like the south side of the city, they never have anything. They have like sports games and shit, you know, and fucking like Connect Adventures, but that's it. Like that's all they got, and so like I've now on several occasions gone to these two. This Goodwill and this Value Village, taking the half-an-hour drive to go there because they actually have good stuff. The most recent time I went, and this is what I'm kind of most excited about. Also, I got an Xbox 360 camera for $1.99. I don't even know what is that thing even for.
Wait, do you not mean the Kinect?
No. The Xbox 360 camera.
That's not the same thing. It's a different thing.
Yes, it's like a webcam.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I don't know. I think maybe it's for video chatting only. It's not the Kinect. I'm pretty sure it was out before the Kinect. I haven't looked into it. Anyway, I have one now. So there.
Okay.
Can I even use it on anything? Is there an active service where this thing is compatible? I do not know.
No, I mean, at this point, it's just a little piece of history.
Yeah.
It's a nice
so I got
trophy.
that. Anyway, the thing I was most excited to find Also, okay, sorry. Fucking, I am so excited about this. They also had
Yeah.
like several PS1s, which I never see. I have
Oh,
never
yeah,
seen
yeah.
a PS1, and they had several of them. They had a Duke Xbox controller, which again, I never see those. It was in
Yeah.
really rough shape, so I didn't buy it. But like, it's just like all this random stuff that I never ever see.
Like
That
I never find anything fucking good at the Savers near me. Like every now
I
and again, there's
know.
like, oh wow, this, but it's never like, whoa, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, wow.
So I'm gonna keep going back to this Valley Village because it's really good.
Yeah.
I hope our listeners don't. Now I've put it out there now that there's a good Valley Village left. Don't go, please. Let it be mine. Let me have this one, please.
It's true.
Okay, so the one
you do need a good spot of your own. You don't have
the
one
big
yet,
find that I found was a PS3,
Yeah.
a launch PS3, the 60 gigabyte backwards compatible PS2 or PS2, PS3,
CECHA01 or whatever the fuck the
Checha or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Checha.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I guess.
It was. I think the manufacturing date was like December 06. So it wasn't like launch day PS3.
It was a first model.
Yeah, it was like the very first PS3 model. Famous for having famous for having the PS2 backwards compatible. These things sell for like $350 to $400 Canadian.
Yeah, they're about 250 to 300 American.
Yeah. It was in rough shape. It was pretty scratched up, but like, fuck that, whatever. Like, I was super stoked to have this. I took it to the counter. Turns out it was Black Friday promotion, and I got an extra like 25% off or something. So I ended up spending $22 on it.
Canadian,
yes. So like,
that's like
$18,
fucking nothing.
$15. I know. Tell me about it.
Oh my god!
It didn't come with any controllers, but I already have 4 DualShock 3s, so whatever.
Yeah. Well, you had another PS3 already, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have two. I have a fat PS3 and I have a slim PS3. So I'm swimming in DualShock 3s. So I brought it home and I turned it on, and lo and behold, to everybody's surprise, it had Yellow Light of Death. Which is kind of sad. So I can't get it to boot. There are a lot of like folktale Yellow Light of Death fixes up until this point. What I've learned is recently, like within the past 6 months, some folks have realized that there is a way to diagnose it. So up until this point, there's been a lot of like kind of myths about what causes the Yellow Light of Death, and how you can fix it. And it's like, the like, I remember when I had a red Ring of Death or Xbox 360, like the fix was like, wrap it in a blanket when you turn it on, and like for whatever reason it'll like overheat and that'll fix it briefly. And so I was like Googling this shit, and one of the fixes from the back of the day, when this was like a big issue, one of the fixes for the PS3 was like, stick it in the oven for a while and turn it on at the oven.
Hello.
Or like blow it with a hairdryer for a little bit, because essentially the thought process was like the solder over time breaks down, and if you reheat it a bit, it'll like
you reflow it.
It won't get hot enough to reflow it, but you'll like expand it a little bit, and if you're lucky, it might expand in the right way to like get the context, whatever. So anyway, in the past 6 months, some folks have realized that you can connect a USB to TTL reader, it's basically a serial reader, and you have to solder into certain pins to get the right stuff. But it turns out that PS3 will actually throw out readings to tell you exactly what the issue is. And it can be a variety of things, but what we're kind of realizing is that the majority of these Yellow Light of Death issues is the GPU chip. It's actually the GPU that has been literally like separates from the board. The solder separates, and you can what they call do a reball, where you reflow the solder on this GPU. So you can get a dead PS3, take the GPU from it, and resolder it. And it seems like it's a bit of a process. Anyway, so that's a journey that I am about to embark on, I think, to see if I can get this. Well, it sounded like kind of a fun project, and it might...
I mean, hey, if worst comes to worst, then you still have 2 other working PS3s.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not...
own the launch model.
I'm not terribly concerned about bricking it. It's already bricked, so worst case scenario, it continues to be bricked. I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited to have it. I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to get it into some sort of working state. What I'm really excited to find out is if there's a disc in it. I I don't know.
Wait, it won't boot at all?
No, no, like it'll turn on and it immediately goes to the yellow light, right? So
you straight up can't even use the eject function.
Well, I'm sure that there's a way. Like if I open it up, I'm sure there's a way to force the disc out by like pulling apart the disc drive or something. But I might not do that. I might just leave it and try to get it working. And then if I am able to get it to boot, the kind of bonus will be ejecting the disc and seeing what's in it, if anything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, it's been an exciting time. Exciting time, Matthew.
You honestly, you really have gotten a lot more than me in the last 3 weeks. I pretty much spent like the last of my saved spending money going to the con with you and going to stores. So, I didn't have a whole lot of money coming into the next, 3 weeks after that. These previous 3 weeks. So, I picked up a couple of things here and there, but
all right.
You ordered both of us, both you and me, a copy of Bug Snacks for PS5 from Fangamer.
Oh,
because shipping to Canada is like whatever. So just ship
it's
2 copies here.
Snacks.
I'm gonna see you again in like a month. So I got your copy. I didn't even open it, but it's so cool. I opened mine and it has a manual. It has a coloring book poster thing. It has some art cards. It's really actually interesting, all the love and care that Fangamer put into this 1-year-old game that no one gives a shit about.
Dude, I love Fangamer. Fangamer does some legit stuff.
They really do.
I have footed the bill on a couple times to order like import stuff from Fangamer to Canada. The shipping is actually like not terrible. It's pretty reasonable. I have like a Stardew Valley book that Lauren got for me from there, and the vinyl record for Stardew Valley, and legit, it's so nice. Like it's just such high quality stuff that they're doing there. Go support Fangamer. If you're listening to this and you want to, like, if you have any interest in any sort of gaming merchandise, they have a lot of franchises available on there, and all of their merchandise is like nice stuff. It's not like cheap whatever garbage, like plushies and stuff. I was
just gonna say,
like Sega might do. Go take a look on Fangamer.
I was just gonna say they straight up go above and beyond. Their quality is phenomenal, and every time you order something from Fangamer, they ship you some stickers and also like a little brochure of some of their coolest merchandise. So I have the brochure from the package that Tyler had shipped to my house, and there's like neglected series that Fangamer's just like, some people care about this, so we're gonna make pins or we're gonna make a plush, like and when I say neglected series, I mean like neglected series. Like there's like fucking Professor Layton pins. There's there's a plush of the Prince and also a Katamari from Katamari Damacy. There are some neglected characters who have never gotten merch of their own from official sources. There's a Ginginator plush from Banjo-Kazooie.
I
so
love it.
There is so much at Fangamer, and as is evident by the fact that Tyler and I are getting copies of a legitimate video game. Fangamer, just like Limited Run, they publish physical copies of digital-only games. And they don't charge that much. The copies of Bug Snacks that we got weren't that expensive. So it's definitely worth taking a look and seeing what they have.
They have Mystical Ninja merch.
Yep.
Like, what? They are right now. I swear to God, we're not sponsored by Fangamer, but we'd like to be. What's up, Fangamer?
Fangamer.
Give us a call. Fangamer's
Hi
having
at
a Black Friday.
superfxpodcast.com.
Yeah, they're having a Black Friday sale, and it ends on November 30th. I swear to God, they're not paying us to say this. But order from Fangamer because, honestly, fucking gaming culture needs more stuff like this. And they need more people like putting care into like physical gaming media. So, support the people who are doing that.
Oh, yeah. But I also picked up the Zelda Game & Watch, which I'll mention briefly just because I think it's really cool. So I got the Mario Game & Watch when it first came out, and, it's cool, but it's a little underwhelming. It's literally just a piece of plastic with metal inside that plays Mario 1 and Mario Lost Levels and Ball. But the Zelda Game & Watch is a whole different beast. It comes with a stand, so you can actually, set it on your desk, unlike the Mario one, and use it as an actual clock. It has an alarm, so, you really can just straight up use it as a clock. The Mario one has an alarm too, but it doesn't have a stand, so you can't really, use it as a functioning everyday clock unless you carry it around all the time. So the Zelda one has Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening, and it also has a special version of the Game & Watch original Vermin, where the main character is replaced with Link's head. But that's not where the cool stuff ends. The back has a Triforce emblem engraved into it, and when the unit is on, that emblem glows. It's pretty cool.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Not only are those 3 Zelda games included, but also their Japanese copies are included, and you might think to yourself, well, fucking, why does that matter? Because first of all, the Japanese copies, in addition to obviously being in Japanese, they were originally Famicom disc games, which means that they have a different sound chip, so all of the music sounds better than the NES versions that we got. So if you want to play with the Japanese sound font, you can just play the Japanese version. Especially if you already know how to play the 2 games, you don't need the text.
Castlevania 3, I think, is like that as well.
Yes. And it's super cool for Link's Awakening, because Link's Awakening was a pioneer of translation. It's available in 1,000 different languages, even on the Game & Watch. So if you don't speak English and you want to play Link's Awakening, there's 5 language options on this thing. Wow. And it's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, I did not pick one up. I am typically not huge on Nintendo re-releasing old stuff. Because I don't know. I just, it's always really expensive, and it's hard to get, and I'm fucking why bother? But
yeah, apparently nobody wanted this thing. I asked my friend Brittany, who works at GameStop. I was like, hey, is there a chance you can hold one for me? I'll be by right away in the morning to pick it up, so no one's gonna get mad. Yeah. And she was like, sure. So I got there, and I was like, thanks for holding it for me. And she was like, you're the first person to come in. I'm like, what, really? There was so much hype for the Mario one. She's like, yeah, people love Mario. People love Zelda too, but not as much. And I was like, well, okay, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of want one.
It's very cool.
I never buy that kind of thing. I wasn't really big on the NES and the SNES Classic. I ended up getting them eventually, but the Mario Game & Watch, I didn't get one. I don't know. It's just I'd rather have it an original Game & Watch,
Yeah.
But this sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it was the last cool pickup that I got. And then we'll wrap up because we're getting there. I went to Blast from the Past. Oh, we are. I went to Blast from the Past, and Dave was there. You met Dave when we went together. And,
yeah, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Dave. I just wanted to pick up a couple commons, and but I also noticed they had a copy of Wii Party, which, other than Wii Play Motion, was the only Wii game that I didn't have, and it's been steadily on the increase over the years. I've seen it upwards of $50-$60, but they had it there for $40.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll grab that. And I also grabbed Beethoven on Super Nintendo. I grabbed SimCity 2000 on Super Nintendo, both of which are pretty uncommon games. And I got Jeopardy Jr. on NES, which is very common. I just didn't have it. Altogether, they would have been something like $85. I asked Dave what he could do for me, and he said 50. And I was like, "Are you sure? That's a lot."
Let's
and
go.
He was like, well, a couple weeks ago, remember when you made that comment on our Facebook page underneath someone's review, agreeing with them and affirming how cool the store is? And I was like, yeah, but I would have done that anyway. He's like, well, congratulations, here's your reward.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, Dave, thanks.
It pays to support your local game stores.
It really does. I was straight up. I was like, are you 100% sure? Normally I would be like, $50, sure, and shake your hand right away. But the last thing I want to do is take advantage of a store that I love and care about. Sure, I want to grab deals from them, but $35 off of an $85 purchase is pretty steep. So I was actually kind of worried for a second. I was like, are you positive? I really don't want to take advantage of you. I don't want to make you feel obligated to do this for me. And Dave was super sweet about it. He was like, no, man, you come here, you support us, you say nice things about us on Facebook, and we don't ask you to. So, fuck it. Happy holidays.
You heard it here first, folks. If you want to get a deal at Blast from the Past, just go on their Facebook page, say some nice stuff, and there you go.
I mean, I guess so.
$30 off.
Yeah, Dave's a sweetheart, though. He'll stay open even if someone just wants to come in and look for like 20 minutes. Like, he's just that kind of guy. He doesn't do it because he feels obligated to. He really likes having people in the store. So, go on down.
Right on.
Yeah, that's it. I think that'll do it for this show. Guys, thanks for listening. To learn more about Super FX, that's the podcast you're listening to in case you can't remember, you can visit our website, superfxpodcast.com. You can find our show wherever you find your other favorite podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. You can also follow us on social media, including Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, at SuperFXPodcast. Guys, we love to hear from you. Reach out with any comments or questions on social media or by sending us an email. That's hi@superfxpodcast.com. Fangamer will be waiting. If you like what we're doing and you'd like to support us, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/superfxpodcast. If you're a YouTube listener, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. If you're an Apple Podcasts listener, help us out by rating and reviewing the show. A big special thanks to Kenny Martin for our theme song. As always, thanks a lot, my man. You can find him at Kenma, that's KENMA.bandcamp.com. A special thanks to you as well, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.